Hello children, let's begin with the lesson 5, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. Have you ever observed the type of trees, bushes, grasses and birds in the fields and parks in and around your school? Are they similar or there are variation? India being a vast country, you can imagine the types of bioforms available throughout the country. See, the variety of the vegetation is different according to the type of the land. In the plain area, we have broadleaf trees. In the hilly areas, we have conical shaped leaves and so on. In the desert areas, we have thorny trees. So, it varies from place to place. Our country India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world with about 47,000 plant species. You can underline it. India occupies 10th place in the world and 4th in Asia in plant diversity. There are about 15,000 flowering plants in India, which account for 6% in world's total number of flowering plants. Country has many non-flowering plants also as ferns, algae and fungi. We have 89,000 species of animals as well as a rich variety of fish in its fresh and marine waters. Now let's begin with the natural vegetation. Natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by the humans for a long time. This is termed as virgin vegetation. See, natural vegetation is the vegetation that grows naturally in the environment without the interference of the human beings. Thus, cultivated crops and fruits orchard form part of vegetation but not the natural vegetation. Because they are grown by the human beings, that's why they are part of the vegetation but not the natural vegetation. Forests are called as the natural vegetation. Virgin vegetation which are purely Indian are known as endemic or indigenous species, but those which have come from outside are termed as exotic plants. Vegetation that is grown in India, they are termed as endemic species, okay, like teak, sal and all. But the species that has come from outside, they are called as your exotic plants. Term flora is used to denote plants. This is all of you know that what is flora and fauna. Flora is flora is your plant species and fauna is your animal species. This huge diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is due to the following factors. Now there are some of the factors that affects the vegetation in the country. These are as follows. Relief. Land affects the natural vegetation directly and indirectly. Do you expect the same type of vegetation mountains, plateaus and plain or in dry and wet regions? The nature of land influences the type of vegetation. Fertile level is generally devoted to agriculture. Undulating and rough terrains areas, grasslands, woodlands develop and give shelter to the variety of wildlife. See, wherever the plain area is there we are used for the agriculture purpose. Plain area vegetation is different. Wherever the rugged terrain is there, that is used for the plateau area, or there are grasslands are there or the woodlands are there in that area. In the hilly areas, it is conical kind of shaped trees are there. The leaves are conical in shape. So this is how the land affects the variety of the trees. Now next comes soil. The soils also vary over space. Different types of soil provides basis for different types of vegetation. The sandy soil of the desert supports cactus and thorny bushes, while wet marshy deltic soil support mangroves and deltic vegetation. Hill slopes with some depth of soil have conical trees. That is the areas, they have given the example of desert. Deserts have sandy soil, so they have cactus, okay. In the wherever the deltas are there we have the mangroves. You have seen the trees floating over the water, but it's not there. They are the mangrove trees, but it is there. As they floats over the water, it looks like they are floating over the water, but their roots are so deep inside the water, that is then below the water soil is there and they are going deep inside that soil. So it is due to the soil. Even example, cotton can grow very well grown in the black soil in comparison to the alluvial soil. So this is the variety of the soil. The soil affects the vegetation. Climate. The character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by the temperature along the humidity in air, precipitation, soil. All these factors affect that is your vegetation. Whether your temperature, humidity, precipitation, that is the types of rainfall and soil. On the slopes of Himalayas and the hills of the peninsula, above the height of 915 meters, the fall in the temperature affects the type of vegetation and its growth and changes it from the tropical to subtropical, temperate and alpine vegetation. That is in the hilly areas. In the plain areas we have the moderate kind of that is we have both the summers and also the winters. So the trees that are found in the plain areas we have broadleaf trees. Wherever as the temperature reduces, we reaches to the high hilly areas. The leaves changes into the conical shape, needle-like shape, because so that snow does not rest on them, it slips down very easily. That's why the hilly areas have conical shape leaves. Photoperiod of sunlight. Variation duration of sunlight at different places is due to differences in latitude, altitude, season and duration of the day. Due to longer duration of the sunlight, trees grow faster in the summer. See, wherever the sunlight are more, trees grow more faster, and even the dense also, because trees have the capability of attracting the precipitation as well as the sunlight. So wherever the regions have better sunlight, good sunlight, they receive better sunlight, so they will have the dense forest. Precipitation, that is the kind of the rainfall. India most entire rainfall is brought in by the advancing southwest monsoon, as you have already read in the last chapter, and retreating northeast monsoon. Areas of heavy rainfall have dense forest vegetation and compared to the areas of less rainfall. Wherever the rainfall is high, we have the dense forest. Wherever the rainfall is less, we have the less vegetation.